Financial freedom does not exist. I think what most people are actually looking for deep down is time freedom. Okay, understand that financial freedom is built on the basis of money, but you can always get more money. You can't get more time. Okay, every second that you sit here and watch this video, that is a moment that you will not get back. But it is also a moment invested into yourself so that you can get time freedom, which is what you're actually looking for deep down inside. Because if I told you right now that you can make $1 million a year, but you'd have to put in 16-hour workdays, would you do it? Some of you would. Some of you would, but at the same time, why? Okay, why would you do that? You wouldn't have the time to do anything with that money. The chances are the only reason why you feel like that's a worthwhile investment of your time is because you want to accumulate generational wealth, which is also an illusion. Generational wealth is an illusion because it only takes one generation to mess up what it took maybe 5 generations to build. Okay, you have to focus on yourself, your life. And if you want to really pass on the wealth to your children, to those future generations, pass forth the knowledge that I'm about to give you. Okay, I'm about to give you all of the game. But the reason why I'm telling you this, the reason why I'm telling you my personal belief regarding financial freedom is because none of the other things that I say in this video will make much sense without that context. Okay, my financial beliefs, my perspective on finance is a little unconventional to say the least, but it works. Okay, it works. It is very, very risky, I guess you could say. If you're a very risk-averse person, then this video might make you cringe, but it works. Okay, if you truly apply the principles that I'm going to pass forth to you, this stuff works. Now, the first thing that you need to do to secure time freedom for yourself is to stop working overtime. Okay, when I got my first job at 16 years old, I remember feeling rich. Okay, making $7.75 an hour. I thought I was rich. And I remember picking up every single shift that I could to make more money. Even though I hated working at that job, I was willing to exchange my time for money. That is a terrible investment of your time. Okay, you have to put things into perspective. It's kind of like, for example, when I was a kid and I used to play video games, and some of you may do this to this day. There were times where I would exchange my real money for in-game money. Okay, they're called microtransactions. I would pay real currency, real dollars for video game currency. Now, at the time, I felt like that was a justified purchase, but in retrospect, I really wish I could get that money back. Okay, even though it was maybe $50, $100, I wish I could get that money back. In the same way, me spending all of that time to accumulate maybe a few extra hundred or a few extra $1,000 working overtime, picking up all of these extra shifts at all of these jobs that I've worked at, I kind of wish I could get that time back. But at the same time, had I not invested that time at that time, I wouldn't be where I am right now. Okay, so everything happens for a reason, but at the same time, you have to learn to focus more on becoming more valuable. Okay, focus on becoming a more valuable person. What value can you provide to the world? That is how you increase your value per hour. Focus on becoming a more valuable person so that you can make more money for the hour as opposed to picking up more hours for the money. Okay, that is a major, major perception shift that a lot of people have to make if they want time freedom and, in a sense, financial freedom, because financial freedom comes only as the result, as the byproduct of time freedom. So the first thing you need to do is stop picking up those overtime shifts and start focusing on providing more value to other people. This could be acquiring a new skill maybe, or it could be honing the skills that you already have, honing your gifts, finding ways to connect with a group of people that allows you to utilize your gift to the fullest extent that you can. Learning to market yourself. Okay, these are skills that will always be relevant. Now, the next thing that you need to do to find time freedom is stop using cash and start using credit. Okay, now, why is that? Why do you need to stop using cash and start using credit? The reason why is because when you have credit, when you have a high credit score, you're able to acquire things without having to put in extra time to get them because you don't have to pay cash. You can pay credit. And that brings me to today's sponsor, Aspiration. Do you ever feel worried about climate change, but you don't know how to contribute to fighting it? I know it always lingers in my mind. And that's why I'm excited to be partnering with Aspiration to share their new credit card, Aspiration Zero, with you today. With Aspiration Zero, I fight climate change every day by planting a tree with every purchase. Every time you swipe your card, Aspiration will plant a tree. We all need groceries, utilities, and basic necessities for life. And with Aspiration Zero, you can still do something good on those purchases in an easy, accessible, and daily way. Reaching carbon zero is easy. Just swipe your card 60 times a month. You can track your progress quickly by using Aspiration's app. Every month you get to carbon zero, Aspiration will provide you with 1% cash back on every purchase you made that month. And if you don't quite reach carbon zero, Aspiration will still reward you with 0.5% cash back. Plus, you can earn a $300 bonus when you spend $3,000 in the first 90 days. Reforestation is so important, and this is such an easy way to contribute. The scientific community has identified scalable reforestation as among the most effective strategies for climate change mitigation. In fact, planting 1 million trees could potentially reduce current CO2 emissions by 25%. Aspiration works diligently with local governments to ensure that the trees planted are incremental, native, and protected. Aspiration also works to ensure that local residents are hired to plant the trees. So not only are you fighting climate change, but you're also stimulating local economies. For every 1 million trees that are planted, 10,000 new jobs are created. Beyond carbon sequestration, reforestation can restore ecosystem biodiversity, agroforestry, and wildlife support and protection. To apply for the Aspiration Zero credit card and get the special sign-on bonus, visit joinaspiration.com/Jordan to start making a positive impact on the planet today. Okay, credit is very, very important. Credit is what allows you to get apartments. Credit is what allows you to purchase that house that you want, to get into real estate. Okay, a lot of you want to get into real estate, but you're not going to be able to do that without a good credit score because you're not going to be able to get a loan to get the house. Unless you plan on purchasing a house cash in this economy, you're going to need credit. Okay, and even if you could afford to buy a house cash, it wouldn't be a wise decision. Okay, it's always best to finance things whenever you can because it's best to have liquid cash on hand at all times. Even if you have assets, even if you like to keep your money in assets, crypto, real estate, whatever it may be for you, it's always good to have a liquid form of currency available to you. And credit is what enables you to do that without having to work 60-hour work weeks or 80-hour work weeks to make that happen. Now, how do you go about building your credit? Okay, once you get a credit card, such as the Aspiration Zero card, you use that credit card for every single thing that you would normally purchase with a debit card or cash. And then you make the payments on time every single month without missing any payments. If you do that for a few years, your credit score will be at least in the 700s. At least. And I'm speaking from experience with that. Okay, and as the years go on and on and on, you start to build up more of a reputation. Okay, and the reputation is actually worth more than the amount of money that you have. Because when you have a really, really good reputation with the banks or with the credit companies, with the lending companies, that enables you to pull out that loan to start your business, to pull out that loan to start up your YouTube channel, to pull out that loan to invest in real estate, and so on and so forth. Credit is the key to financial freedom, as some would call it, because it allows you to indulge in the benefits of having a lot of money without actually having to put in all of that extra work to obtain that money. Now, that's not to say that you should use your credit card irresponsibly and pull out loans that you can't afford to pay off. Like I said, you should use your credit card exactly how you would use a debit card or cash, meaning that if you can't afford it with a debit card or cash, you shouldn't be purchasing it. But when you have credit, that enables you to bet on yourself in ways that you would not be able to without putting yourself in financial jeopardy, without potentially putting your well-being at risk by spending all of your savings on that business that may or may not work out, that you may or may not be passionate about.